All right, I want to show you a couple of ways that we can find elapsed time. When you're going to find elapsed time, you may need to first find out what the actual time on the clocks are. So sometimes they'll give you two clocks like this. This is when I sing my song. I don't have to do the whole song. I just remember the shorthand tells the hour time, and I look at the number that the shorthand is past. So when I look at this, it's past the 1. It's not to the 2 yet, so I know that this is 1. And I start at the 12 and I count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I know that's 1:25. Now I'm going to look at my second clock. The shorthand tells the hour time. I'm going to look at the number that the shorthand is past. It's past the 2. The longhand tells the minute time. I'll start at the 12 and I'll count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. So there are a couple of ways that you can do this. One thing that you may want to do is, I showed you the strategy before, make a T-chart with your start time and your end time. And I always suggest go ahead and use a number that you can add easily. I've told you time and time again, I rock my 5s. I can count by 5s really well. So I'm going to add 5 minutes to this, and I'm going to get, let's see, 25, 30. So that turns it to 125, goes to 130. Does 130 match 215? Nope, I need to add 5 more. If I add 5 more minutes to this time, what does that get me? 135. Do I match that yet? Nope, I don't. So now I have to do 5 more. 35, 40. 5 more. 40, 45. Do I match that yet? I don't. Keep going by 5 minutes until I match my top time. 155. This is where it gets tricky. 5 more minutes. What happens at 1:55? There's the 55. I go back. My 1 turns into the whole fresh hour. Now, some of you might be looking and saying, well, Mrs. Hernisen, you're at 2 o'clock. How do I get 2 to 2:15? I just add 15 minutes. If you figure that out, go ahead, add 15, and that will end it. If you didn't figure that out, you keep adding 5 to get 2, 2:05, 2:10, 2:15. You'll get 3 more 5s. Then you have to add this up. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 35, 45, 50. It was 50 minutes in between the 2. That's one way to figure it out. You could also count on the clock where you're like, this starts at 1:25, so this is going to be my start time right here. And then I'm going to end at 2:15. So let me put 2:15 on the clock, 2:15. I need to end here. So now let me start counting at my start time, 1:25, and go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Same answer. It's still 50 minutes, whether I jump around the clock or I do my T-chart. Now, just to make you aware, some kids, they forget to start at the start time and they automatically start at the 12. When you're telling time, you start at the 12. When you're figuring out elapsed time or how much time went by, you start at the start time. All right? Or some people like to do it. Let me erase that second clock. Oops. Let me erase the second clock. I'm going to get that out of the way. We know our end time's 2:15. I have that information there. Like to do it almost on a number line where they start at 1:25 and they know they have to stop when they get to 2:15, and they just go ahead and they add like this. 5 minutes gets you to 1:30. 5 minutes. Or you could go, can I get 1:30 up to 1:40? Sure, by adding 10. What's easy to add to 1:40? 10 more to get me to 1:50. Now, how do I get 150? 10 more minutes, that gets me to 2 o'clock. Then I could do, if I want to keep doing 10s, that gets me to 2:10. 5 more minutes gets me to 2:15. Let's add all this up now. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. No matter which way I choose to solve it, whether I use a T-chart, whether I use almost a number line, whether I count my hops when I'm going around the clock, my answer is 50 pickles? No, minutes. Remember, whenever we're measuring, we need a unit. And this unit that we're using today is minutes. So those are 3 different ways that you can use to find elapsed time. Honestly, you just pick the one that's your favorite. For the longest time, I just liked to count hops. Now I kind of like the T-chart. But it's really just what you prefer. Same with all the different multiplication strategies, the different division strategies. These are 3 different strategies for elapsed time, and you're going to pick the one that you like best on our rotation.